saw a report that says that art is going to be the last thing that's taken over by AI because it needs a human touch. Hi, I'm Sayen. I'm an artist, but I studied business in Poly.
Hi, my name is Mira. I studied fashion merchandising and marketing in NAFA.
Hi, I'm Sam. I studied musical theatre at LASALLE. Hi, I'm Ray. I graduated from Singapore Poly, diploma in Music and Audio Technology.
Hi, I'm Guang. I graduated from SOTA and I'm currently in LASALLE for Fine Arts.
Hi, I'm Diva. I'm taking graphic design at NAFA.
Do you think an art degree is necessary?
If you decide to go through like the research or like the academic route, then I guess yes, it's important if you want to be a director, like a dramaturg or whatever. But I guess if you're more like set in stone and you kind of know the direction that you want to go in, I guess it really doesn't matter. Like a portfolio is just as good.
I feel like it's not very necessary. I personally started freelancing graphic design when I was 15. So like I had no like prior degree, but I still get hired. And I do feel like formal art education actually helps me to appreciate art and like identify what's good and what's not.
For me personally, because I studied like quite a niche kind of course, which is the fashion merchandising and marketing. You want to apply jobs in Singapore also, they won't even like ask you if you have a fashion degree. They wouldn't even care. So like the degree is up to you guys lah.
Yeah, but if you intend to go overseas where the market's like way bigger, then I guess it does help.
What made you choose the path that you are on?
Because from young I learned violin, so I really like into music and stuff. Then at the same time I also dance. I like to watch videos. Then I chanced upon like DJ, music production, that kind of stuff. Then I was very interested, and then I wanted to learn more. The passion is built along the way, and now like I want to pursue music.
For me personally, most of my teacher they actually graduated from NAFA. When I took art subject, then my teacher keeps saying, "Hey, you should try art school. You know, maybe it's your path." My 16 years old will be like, "Okay, maybe I can be a art student." You know, so I just tried for it. I survived the 3 years. I graduated.
I started freelancing like at 15, but that was because like I accidentally googled the prices of HDBs in Singapore. As a 15-year-old, I didn't know I can pay by installments, right? So I was like, shit, like it's so expensive. How am I gonna afford this in like 20 years? So like the first thing I knew is like I can use Adobe. I'm good at like Adobe software, so why not I try to sell my services online and do like posters for $50, right? None of my clients knew that I was a kid because everything was like online. That's how I got into it.
Primary school, I always like do the thing where you have a sketchbook below the desk and then you draw while the teacher's talking. And then my teacher was like, actually since you like to draw so much, why don't you go to SOTA? I was like, oh, because if I'm gonna keep on doing education, then I might as well just go to like an education that I like, which is gonna be like something art related. Being like, okay, I'll probably pursue art because I restored like some of my passion that I once had.
What are the pros and cons of going to an art school?
One big con that people always talk about going to art school is that you're going to be graded according to a rubric or like criteria for art, which people always say art is like whatever you want it to be.
Subjective.
Yeah, subjective. But then it becomes objective because you're graded on the rubrics, and that sometimes like makes people lose some of their passion.
I think the cons is that like sometimes we'll receive like harsh critics and comments.
It's very personal.
Yeah.
But I think art school is really fun. You'll meet a lot of people.
I went to a arts related course Polytechnic. For me, right, the pro is I have fun every day because like what I study is related to what I want to do. But then the con is I have too much fun and my GPA drop. And after that, it's very hard to maintain the GPA lah. Because it's like there's no control, you know. Everybody go there, then everybody
Just jam.
just jam. Yeah, just jam around. Then assignment, and never mind lah, we just jam. Then after that, in the end, right, all our grades suffer.
I think one thing that I really like missed out on for not going to school is that all my friends are musicians. I have no like visual artist friends other than my boss and my colleagues. Sometimes I kind of wish that I had that, like a community of people who kind of do the same things, and then we can like art jam together.
It's easier when there's like a bunch of you guys going to a gallery and being like, hey, we're a group of people all contributing artwork to like this show. Can you like exhibit artworks or not?
Really just putting yourself out there like as a collective and like not being scared to fail.
I guess it helps also to have people to compare yourself to. And it's just how you see it. Like, do you see them as competition or do you see them as like inspiration?
Yes.
Like a show is not without a cast.
Yeah.
Even if it's like you're like a major supporting role, like or you're like the lead, but even like a minor character is just as important because they carry the weight of the show. So there's no such thing as one person like, oh yeah.
And you need like your back end crew and
yeah,
sound
so, and
crew,
yeah, so we give a lot of props to like the stage crew as well and stuff.
Any regret on the path that you took?
No.
Not yet. Not yet.
There's a saying that an artist is a dying job. What do you think about it?
There's also a report that says that art is going to be the last thing that's taken over by AI because it needs a human touch to succeed.
That's true.
Even like 3D printing or maybe like even more traditional like casting or molding, all these like technological stuff, right? All they need like some kind of artistic touch to it. Otherwise, like it will just be a craft.
And I guess like
Essential
with
craft.
how like the world is becoming more and more digital and becoming more like rigid, like rich people and people who can afford it are seeking that kind of like comfort that art has, like that.
Yes,
Yeah, you
that's
know?
true. Like, okay, maybe because like I work in the industry whereby like a lot of rich people are, they tend to buy art like without even knowing what is it about. Yeah, because there's literally two types of people: people who appreciate art or people who just buy art for fun.
Yeah.
So like they either appreciate your works or they just buy it because they want to make their house look
Or is it the name
nice.
as well? Or
Yeah, the
name of the
name
artist,
can
like,
be the
yeah,
name,
so
can be
it's
the
like-
name. But yeah, I don't know. It's just people mindset.
I mean, one could argue that like that kind of makes it so that art is changing to only cater to like rich people because now rich people are buying it without even knowing. But that doesn't mean art is dying. It just means that art is changing. But you know, whether good or bad, that's up to us.
I think everyone can appreciate it, it's just who can afford it.
I mean, even now, like people always say, oh, ceramics people just cast pots lah. Now don't even need to grow pots. But there's always like now people always go for pottery classes, just different from in the past, but it's not dying out.
Like small activities like that, like I don't know, it's COVID season or whatever. But
Everyone's
like
bored.
yeah, everyone's bored. Like you know, like they.
What's the in thing to do now?
I have no idea. Like you know, they start making a lot of crafts and all. Like because of that, also maybe art industry can be bloom more. Let's say if you go down 2 years back, I don't think people still want to do pottery. More people now like having like canvas painting services in their cafes, or you know, yeah, small services like this also can bring up more art awareness. So yeah, it's kind of small steps like this can keep the art alive.
What is your opinion on NFT?
Someone actually offered to pay me, but like they had no clue what they wanted. I mean, I think there's really good art on NFT platforms and stuff. I think the good ones will stay, and eventually, like people, like because now is the hype period, right? Everyone's trying to get into it, so it's very saturated. There's a lot of stuff that is not so good, but still being sold for very high value. But I think it's just because it's the start of something new, and like in years to come, like people will slowly start to be able to appreciate what's good and what's not. You know, those randomly generated stuff, like have no idea, like no roadmap for the project, like it will die out lah.
How is your school culture like?
People say that the private colleges looks a bit more inferior. I don't know. We look like angsty bitch like always. I have no idea what. No, I think in general lah, the private, yours also, okay, yours also, both of us. But like for me, NAFA is like quite homey. Like because they come from different backgrounds and all of them, the people there are very, very nice. Like after school, they usually like, you know, where you guys want to eat, you know?
Not just friends, but I feel like the lecturers at NAFA also really nice. For me, like in NAFA, like a lot of teachers that care about your mental health and like ask like how you doing and stuff. It's like home to me also. Because I'm like international students and I'm glad that like NAFA accommodate us. I'm from Indonesia. In NAFA there is like this Indo club.
I feel like most art schools, I'm pretty sure most of you all experience it as well. The cohorts are usually quite small. From my own personal experience, I'm quite close to most of the people in my class. Like I said, art cohorts are usually quite small, so everyone like usually supports each other and helps each other out during like stressful periods lah. So there'll always be like student initiated like support session.
Poly is poly lah. Poly is then chill on the culture. So, cause my course is music, right? So I guess we probably the more unique type of course in a polytechnic, sort of. But then within the course itself, the culture is, I say it's very wholesome because the intake is very small. So we get to know each other every single month. Yeah, then I guess the only time we truly feel cool, right, is when we do our graduation show. Where we like put on a full-scale concert and then we perform our own original works right before we graduate.
I think I really appreciated the fact when we had the support from like our seniors and our juniors, and then we felt that we should do the same for them as well, and not just like a show from like musical theatre. We watching a show from dance or even supporting the diploma students as well.
Do you have any advice for prospect students?
I think my advice is if your art is a hobby, then keep it as a hobby. Because when you go to art school, you have to expect your art to be scrutinized, and it's supposed to be scrutinized in a good way. But if you realize the scrutiny isn't doing you any favors, then no one's really forcing you to be in art school.
And I feel like there's a lot of pressure to like do what you love for a living, and then like you feel like you never have to work a day, that kind of thing. So it's like a lot of like Instagram preaching and stuff. But honestly, in real life, sometimes it's not the best way forward. Like you might love something, but you might not, like, painfully speaking, like you might not be good enough to do it like 9 to 5 lah, or like make it a sustainable career. So yeah, I think the most important thing is do a job that earns you enough money so that you can use that money to do the things you love.
I mean, you're gonna expect a lot of failures along the way. There's no like one success route. You're gonna have to keep failing and failing and failing. That's the reason why you're in school. You learn from all your failures, and the only way is up.
It's not cheap, guys.
Yeah, it's not bad. I think it's important to be
Our fees are
responsible.
different from local polytechnics. Okay,
Yeah.
it's like
One semester 5K.
mine's around 3.
Mine is Ngee Ann Poly Business 1.7. I feel very good now.
I think LASALLE 5K
Yeah.
per month per semester.
SP percent should be around 1.2.
Mine, because I'm international student, so it's like 9.8 per semester. And then like you need to pay more for year 2 because you need to take like CDE
Elective. It's like
Yeah,
extra
so
elective.
I think I paid around like 11K.
But usually,
that
like
time, yeah.
the more credits there are, the more expensive the elective is.
Let's not forget like material and like.
Oh my god.
And like if you're a performing arts student, you're always eating out at night, then how much money are you gonna pay for your
Finances.
dinner and your transport fees?
My advice, if you want to pursue the arts, is to really just put yourself out there. Try to network and socialize. Anywhere you go, right, you will know each other. So it's quite important that network and then you get to know more people, so that you have more opportunities. Even if you feel like you're not good enough or you're not ready, right, I feel you should just start. Just put your work out there. Because at the end of the day, art is subjective, like we all. You never know. Someone out there might see the potential in you, or they like your work very much. Then there comes the opportunity that you wouldn't have had, right, if you don't even put yourself out there.
And having friends means you might get more gigs.
Yeah.
Because sometimes like
True.
some gigs like you can't do alone, right? Like
Yeah.
say if you're playing a show, you need like
Yeah,
a band.
Yeah.
So if you know a lot more people, then a lot more people will be like, "Yo, can you help me on this gig and stuff?"
Maybe you can get a cheaper rate. I don't know.
Yeah,
But like
sure.
that small steps is very important.
And I think you'll need a lot of coffee to stay awake.
Yeah.
Sleep deprived, guys.
Thank you for watching this video.
We hope you've learned a lot about art schools.
Make sure to like.
Share and subscribe.
Ring the notification bell.
And we hope to see you again soon.
Bye.